Hello everybody. So today we are going to be building an apparatus on how to
extract water from air.
So let's
Begin!
This project is built on a small scale and it is built using
recycled old items.
So these are the materials required for doing this project. It is a big heatsink and it is a brushless fan which you can find in most old PCs. And this is a small heatsink and this is something very special. This is the main component of this project. It is called a Peltier. It heats on one side and gets cold on the other. So it has a dual functionality which will be helpful for this project. So this is the power source which we are going to be using for this video. It's a 12 volt and 5 amp output AC to DC adapter.
So this is a thermal grease. So we need to stick it on the Peltier. We have to stick it on both the sides. So this is a screwdriver. We need to screw everything up, and with these screws and this we need 2 nuts and 4 screws and 2 bolts.
And so this is the full main enclosure for this fan. It will protect any substances from going inside. And this is the jack, DC jack. It has to look like this. You have to remove this port and it will look like this after removing.
Now it's time for assembly.
So now we are going to take the large heatsink and attach the Peltier to it. So the hot side without the numbers and there's another cold side with the numbers. The cold side should be facing upwards and the hot side should be touching with the large heatsink. Now let's apply some thermal grease. So for your reference, I have labeled these two sides as cold and hot. The cold side is with the numbers and the hot side is without them. So if you mess both of these two sides and put it in the upside down direction, the result will not come properly.
So we are going to apply the thermal paste on the Peltier, both the sides.
So now she's spreading the paste.
So it's better to have a little bit thermal paste on the heatsink.
So now we just attach the hot side to the large heatsink. Now she's going to apply more thermal paste to the cold side.
Wait, I have some more. So we also have to put the thermal paste on the small heatsink.
So now we are going to attach the small heatsink to the cold side of the Peltier. So the reason we just attach this is to provide a greater surface area for the water droplets to form on the cold heatsink. So now let's screw it in. So the Peltier has been fixed between the large heatsink and the small heatsink. As you can see here, the Peltier is kind of like sandwiched between the large heatsink and small heatsink. So always remember that the hot side without numbers should go facing to the large heatsink, and the cold side, the with numbers side, should be facing the small heatsink. So we are going to be attaching this PC exhaust fan to the metal protector, and always remember that the side has this, which has a sticker, and the wires coming out should be facing up, as many of you, if you guys will have a doubt. So the protector must go on like this, and all this apparatus will go facing the large heatsink, just like this.
So we have screwed every single screw. So we are ready to power.
Now, as it is ready to be powered, we need to find a way to connect this PC fan to the Peltier. So we are going to do that using a parallel connection. So that is being done by connecting the red wire of the PC fan and the red wire to the Peltier. So we are going to join both of these together. And simultaneously, we need to join the negative wire of the fan to the negative wire of the Peltier. After connecting both these equipments together, we need to find a way to power. So we have this DC jack right here, and as I told you before, you need to remove this one pin, which will be connected here. So we have only two pins, positive and negative. So the negative will come at the first. Don't mix and match these, because these are also very important elements. Connected the adapter to a power socket, and the LED is indicating that the power is there. So now we are going to connect the power to the DC jack to see if it's working. So immediately after connecting, this fan is running. So that means one component is working. So to check if the Peltier is working, you may have to wait for 1 minute or 30 seconds, because the Peltier has to start functioning. If the Peltier should work properly, the small heatsink should feel cold after 30 seconds or 1 minute. So let's wait and see. Okay, now let's see if the Peltier is working or not. Ooh, I can feel the cold. So that means the Peltier and the fan are in perfect condition and are working fine. So let's wait for the final result and see if it collects water droplets or not. While you guys watch the time lapse, I will explain to you how this works. So basically, the main component here is the Peltier module. When current is passed through the Peltier, the temperature difference on both the sides causes water droplets to form on the heatsink, which is present as humidity in the air. You can think of it like this. When you pour cold water in a glass, you can see that the glass is very cold when felt, and water droplets are found on the glass's surface. This is basically the exact same concept. So this apparatus will work only when there is minimum 30% of humidity in the atmosphere.